having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, so you're here because, let's be honest, you really want to get a handle on what's driving those financial market conversations.
Yeah, you want to cut through the noise, right?
Exactly. And today we're going to take this snapshot of terms and topics that seem to be on everyone's radar.
Consistently popping up.
Yeah, so think of this as your guide to the signals that everybody's watching.
And everyone's watching, yeah. And what's really interesting is right away you see this core focus on what we might call like the main arteries of the stock market. You know,
the big players.
The big players, exactly. So we're seeing that people are constantly tracking the Dow Jones, of course, you know, which you'll often hear called the Dow or DJIA.
Right.
And then there's the Nasdaq composite, which is often simplified to just Nasdaq. And of course the S&P 500, which very frequently gets shortened to S&P or even SPX.
Yeah, those are definitely the big three that kind of give us that overall sense of, you know, where the market's at.
The pulse.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's not just about, you know, they're out there. It's the fact that, you know, we see today live futures, pre-market, open, close, all these terms.
All the time, yeah.
That tells me that, you know, folks are looking for that up-to-the-minute picture.
Right.
They're trying to get a jump on where things are headed before, you know, the opening bell even rings.
It's all about immediacy.
It is super dynamic.
It is. And I think what's fascinating, too, is that, you know, layered on top of that real-time tracking, there's this noticeable concern about the potential downsides.
Oh, yeah.
And you see terms like bear market drop and even the big one, market crash.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that.
And it suggests that, you know, people are very aware of the risks involved and they really want to understand what might trigger or signal a significant downturn.
Which, I mean, you know, it makes sense because then it connects us right to the broader economic and geopolitical landscape, right?
Absolutely.
China tariffs on us, trade war, these are terms that we see
Front and center.
that are really showing us how, you know, global events are seen as these major market movers.
Huge impact.
And then, of course, we've got the US jobs report. I mean, why is that report in particular such a big deal?
Well, you know, it's really fascinating because the jobs report offers this vital snapshot of, you could say, the economy's engine, right?
That's a good way to put it.
So, you know, if you see strong job growth that can signal consumer confidence and spending, which then in turn fuels economic expansion.
Makes sense.
But conversely, if you see weaker numbers, that can raise concerns about a slowdown,
Right.
which then directly impacts investor sentiment and market valuations. So it's a fundamental indicator of economic health.
I mean, it's all connected.
It is. It all ripples through the markets.
That's really interesting. And, you know, we also see a lot of interest in specific investment vehicles like, you know, QQQ,
Right.
which is that ETF tracking the Nasdaq 100, and then SPY and SPX, which are both linked to the S&P 500. Plus, we're seeing individual companies like GE stock and TSLA pre-market are drawing attention.
Absolutely. And you know, what's interesting there is it seems like people are both trying to track the broad strokes and also looking at specific opportunities.
Yeah, or maybe risks too.
Yeah, absolutely. Potential volatility, for sure.
It's an interesting mix.
It is. And I think it speaks to how, you know, while the major indices give you that overall direction, individual stocks can be subject to, you know, company-specific news and events,
Right.
which then create those unique price movements.
For sure.
So tracking both helps you understand the macro trends and potential micro opportunities or risks, as you say.
Yeah, and kind of on a more, you know, practical note, we see these searches for stock market hours and when does the stock market close, which, you know, reminds us that this isn't just some abstract game, right?
Right, it's got real-world implications.
There are real-world, you know, elements of when you can actually buy or sell.
Exactly. Understanding the market's operational schedule is absolutely fundamental for anyone who's participating.
Yeah.
Whether you're a day trader or you're a long-term investor. And the fact that these are common queries really underscores the practical nature of, engaging with the market.
For sure. And finally, it's interesting to see, what the go-to sources are for this information.
Where are people getting this from?
Exactly. So we're seeing Finance Yahoo, CNBC Futures, CNN Money, NDTV, Wall Street, breaking news.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It really highlights the diverse ways that people are staying informed.
In this, crazy constant flow of information.
I mean, each platform is going to offer a unique lens on the market, so I think it's super valuable to be aware of all those different perspectives that are available.
Yeah, absolutely. So, bringing it all together, what these commonly tracked terms are telling us is that you're focused on the big picture through the major indices.
Right.
You're definitely aware of those potential market drops and the global factors that could trigger them. You're plugged into the real-time updates and what's happening before and after trading hours. And you're keeping an eye on both those, broad market trends and specific company performance.
That's a great summary. And it points to a really important takeaway, I think, staying informed about these core concepts and understanding how all of this stuff intertwines, global events, economic data market movements.
Yeah.
It's not just about, blindly following numbers on a screen. It's about grasping the forces that are shaping our economic reality.
That's a big picture.
It is. And, maybe something to think about as we go forward is, which of these areas, maybe the indices or those economic indicators, or even the real-time data, which one of those has the biggest impact on your own personal financial decision?
Yeah, think writing that.
It might be valuable exercise moving forward.
Food for thought.
Definitely.
Awesome. Well, thanks for breaking it all down for us today.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time.
See you then.
Having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.